Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello, welcome to A Couple of Flicks. I am Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
How are you gentlemen doing?
Not bad.
Oh yeah, fine.
Yeah. I'm having a lovely evening and I'm enjoying a smoothie. So I guess I don't know, for folks who are watching, instead of listening, you may accidentally get a little extra in your visuals than you intended, because this is a green smoothie and it's a real sloppy one. So
Oh,
yeah.
sloppy.
But, yeah. But I'll try not to be making too much noise. So anyway, yeah, so tonight we're gonna discuss some more full moon video pictures. Although I guess two of the ones we chose tonight kind of fall more under the category of moonbeam, but
Yeah,
regardless, yeah, I mean, I still consider that full moon in its own way. It's like the brother or whatever, or the sibling company. So
yeah.
anyway, but before we discuss our picks, do either of you want to talk about anything you may have watched recently?
I saw the Flash movie.
Oh, did you like it?
I liked it. I went in with super low expectations because everyone was talking shit about it, but I ended up liking it.
Nice. That's awesome.
Generic superhero movie, so
Mhm.
can't expect too much.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see it just because Nick Cage is in it. So
Yeah.
It looked interesting, at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only thing I saw in between these movies.
Yeah. I rewatched Soul. That was fun.
Nice. The Pixar.
Pixar.
Mm-hmm. I forgot about how good that soundtrack to that movie is.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was a beautiful movie. Probably my top 5 Pixar. So
I still haven't seen it.
oh, it's so good. I really, really wish it had been in theaters or been in more theaters instead of just been direct to streaming, because would have been a better movie to see on the big screen. I think it's very visual. The animation's super cool. Concept is really great. I watched it with my niece, so she thought it was boring, but whatever.
Damn.
Can't please everybody.
Yeah.
Oh. I saw the Ninja Turtles movie. I caught that before it left theaters. I liked it. It was good.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I love Ninja Turtles.
Me too. Yeah. It was definitely more aimed towards the kid audience than the Spider-Man versus one inter-universe ones or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Still a lot of throwback stuff though.
Yeah, definitely. It was good.
Yeah, those Spider-Verse movies are wild. I love those. But
yeah. I hated how the new one ended.
Oh yeah. That was brutal.
It's like getting ready for more. It's like, nope.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a two-parter, and somebody in front of me in the theaters just shouted out, "What the fuck?" when the credits rolled. It was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh man. I love when funny stuff happens in theaters.
Yeah.
When I went and saw the first Suicide Squad movie, there was a guy behind me going every 30 seconds.
Oh god.
It was actually really funny.
Oh no.
There were moments where he did it at really inopportune times.
That's great.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, the movie was confusing anyway, but that didn't really help matters.
No.
All right, enough silliness.
Well,
Let's talk about the full moon.
so more silliness.
Yeah, let's jump from one kind of silliness to another. So, all right, so yeah, let's start with the one that you chose, Nick.
Mine?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, or actually, wait, was it yours or which one was the one about the aliens? Oh
That
wait,
was
they
mine.
both have aliens in them.
They both-
But
Oh, spoiler!
the ones
Oh
with
no, I've already ruined the episode. Okay, what was the one that had like the one that was cute that was kind of like Bigfoot Junior?
that was mine.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. All right, let's start with that one.
Yeah, so mine is Aliens in the Wild Wild West, or as my DVD calls it for some reason, Time Slingers.
Much better title.
I couldn't find it under Time Slingers for streaming.
Yeah, it's only like that on DVD. I don't get it, but
It's so strange.
yeah,
I wonder if yours is better.
I watched it on Tubi.
Oh, okay, never mind.
The quality was like a tiny bit better than the DVD.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure
That's
it's
funny.
the exact same.
Yeah.
The plot summary is awful on Wikipedia, but maybe it'll make it funnier. I don't know.
All right. Excuse me, I burped. Let's see. Well, from what I understand, this movie was like, I think it's like Romania. It was filmed in Romania or something. So it's possible that maybe whoever wrote the Wikipedia, like maybe it was like mistranslated or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
That would
Well,
explain the shitty dubbing at
all
times.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, okay. I mean, I don't know. All right. I guess let's give it a shot. What does the Wikipedia summary have to say?
All right. Those Aliens in the Wild Wild West takes place in a mid-19th century Western town which has been traveled to by two modern-day siblings through the means of time travel.
Okay.
The
All right. Well, all right. Yeah, go ahead.
The younger sibling, Tom Johnson, was an annoyance to his older sister, Sarah. That's all it says about the beginning.
Okay.
All
right. So, yeah, it jumped way ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it does say they fought all the time, which is what got them into the town.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, okay, well, how do we describe these characters?
The kid is like an annoying vlogger. Let's just compare it to that.
Yeah. So annoying.
I thought he was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't give a crap about what was happening throughout the course of that movie.
Yeah. And he'd also like was skipping ahead to when they're in the Wild Wild West. He like would be like, we're time traveling, but then would refer to like microwaves and shit, like for food. It's like kept going back on himself, like with things like that.
Yeah, like he didn't even care.
Yeah.
Asking for Chinese delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time at one point, doesn't he like criticize a character for watching too much television?
Yeah, I think so.
So he does refer to a TV, yeah.
Yeah, he was hilarious. And then his sister.
She was a handful.
Yeah. Yeah, so
what word would I use to describe? I guess challenging, yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Go on.
I say when we first see her, she's getting brought home by the cops from riding in a stolen car.
Yep. Her brother committed GTA.
Yeah.
Or not brother, her boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
GTA, yeah.
Yeah, her boyfriend who she's forbidden to see.
Yeah. Some very odd talkings too from the parents.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you could tell like whoever was doing the voice like it didn't fit like the mouth
Yeah.
quite right. Like it was really
They just
distracting.
sounded like they did not want to be doing the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that dad, it almost felt like a joke dub or something. I mean, I didn't get any sort of sincerity coming from that vocal tone whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, and the actor was at least emoting facially, but like the voice was just so bland.
Yeah, it was really weird. Yeah, I mean, like basically the movie. The movie just kind of quickly. I mean, it's very, very fast paced. Like within the first 5 minutes of the film, the brother is, filming everything and being annoying and crazy and quirky, throwing out punchlines left and right. The sister's getting brought home from the police, and so that's when the dad demands that they go on a family road trip, basically.
Yeah, as the punishment.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when they said it was for 3 weeks too, at one point, I was like, wow, that's a long ass road trip.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of, I guess back then people could just do that whenever they wanted, just go on a random field trip. So,
Mm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, okay. I'm curious. What does the Wikipedia plot summary have to say next?
Oh, it goes right into when they went back in time.
Oh, okay. So they go to some place, and then the brother and sister go into a room and pick something up, and then they time travel, like, and go back to the Wild West. That's basically
That
it.
is
Like,
mostly. The brother sees a picture of his sister, but didn't recognize himself in it either.
Yeah.
That was so dumb. I was like, that's you too, though, right? Why aren't you saying anything about yourself in it?
yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, there were
Yeah.
a lot of silly things about this movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you about to say?
I thought it was going to be like a Wild West themed attraction or something, not like an actual Wild West town that they just drove right in the middle of.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we'll just park right here.
Basically, yeah. I didn't really understand that either. It was very vague. I don't know. Like it wasn't Spirited Away. I'll just put it that way. Or Wizard of Oz, or one of those movies where like the characters suddenly travel somewhere and go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they walk into a random building, step through the floorboards, find a weird time travel device.
Yeah. That's about it. They don't
It's
really
funny.
explain the time travel device much, or do they? I don't think it had anything to do with the alien.
Yeah, it did.
Oh,
The
it did?
little
Okay.
Jiffy explains it. Yeah, he
Oh, okay.
explains it all out. Yeah.
Okay. I must have zoned out at that part or something. Um, but
It's
okay.
like it's the same device they were using to talk to him, to the translator device.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. All right. I didn't realize those were the same things for some reason.
Yeah. He was just saying, yeah, the Jiffy. So I don't know if it's getting too far ahead or whatever, but yeah,
Wow.
the little alien was just saying, yeah, this device can bend time and space, and yeah, time travel's no problem with this, but only my
Yeah.
mom knows how to use it.
Yeah, thing sounded like an Elmo or something.
Yeah.
You know what it sounded like was, you remember that weird show on Disney, The Bear in the Big Blue House? There was that weird monkey thing that was like green. What's it? Trilo, I think its name was. It sounded like that.
I don't remember that.
I remember the show, but I don't
Yeah.
think I ever watched it.
I watched a lot of it with my younger siblings around.
Yeah, that's exactly how I watched it too. So, yeah. But yeah, it sounded exactly like Trilo. So,
Yeah.
the little brother's constantly making fun of his sister for, I guess, being
A criminal.
yeah, like and like I guess flirting around and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
He is okay with it though at the same time.
yeah. Like he doesn't care, but he also constantly gives her shit for it. Like,
Yeah.
It was funny. Like some of the quips were good, but
yeah,
he wasn't that great of an actor, so his delivery sucked.
yeah. I think like the monotone deadpan delivery, honestly, like I found it interesting and like it was maybe not intentional, but it was an interesting aspect of the character and it made me like him. So
Yeah,
like,
when they went back in time, they both were like unfazed by it. They're like, "Huh, okay,
yeah. He was like,
whatever."
we time traveled to the Wild West. It's hilarious. It's like that was just the backstory to the actual plot, which involves like a little alien creature, like a critter, and who's wanting to get back home to its mom. I mean, it's basically Mac and Me, or like one of those types of things, or big, yeah, little Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Sorry, um, the uh, the creature looks kind of silly. It has a constantly terrified look.
Yeah.
You know?
The Wikipedia says it resembles a cross between ET and a hairy Yoda. Like, I guess.
I'm not seeing the Yoda so much, but
No.
Nah.
it's got like long hair. Like,
Yeah, it looks like a Bigfoot thing. Yeah,
yeah.
looked a
It
lot
looked like a
little Bigfoot.
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
It's a Fraggle Rock creature.
I want to say I've seen it in like another movie. I'm like probably knowing Full
Yeah.
Moon, but
They probably recycled it from some back lot or something. Or
there was,
There was recycling in this episode.
yeah.
that's true. They're trying to tell us something. So,
Yeah. The door of the
Um,
spaceship. We will see later.
yeah.
That looked like a vagina.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That was funny too. Was this a kids movie? I guess it was, but it I don't know, to me it felt like a stoner comedy. I mean, the alien was funny, the kids were funny, like the townspeople were all ridiculous. Like it just like I laughed my ass off throughout this entire movie. Just,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was intentional or not. Like I totally don't. That's
It
why I
probably
think
wasn't.
Time Slingers. Yeah, it probably wasn't. But that's why I think Time Slingers would have been a better title, because Time Slingers sounds a little more zany than um, Aliens from Outer Space or Aliens in the whatever Aliens in the Wild West. Like that's such a like that title doesn't mean anything, you know. So,
Should have been what was he calling it? The Kaio Bear.
Oh, right.
oh yeah.
That would have been good too.
Both of the titles are like not really much to do with what's going on.
Yeah, it's true.
But I mean, I don't know what to say else about this.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that Wikipedia says?
um, well, back in
Let's let
time,
Wikipedia guide us.
yeah. Well, back in time, Tom finds an alien spaceship in the forest. He soon finds out that oxygen is poisonous to the cute and fuzzy aliens and that they only breathe sulfur.
Hmm.
That was a jump. I don't know how he knew that.
Because he's smart. Somehow he was able to figure it out. He sniffed the air and was like, "That's sulfur." Somehow he knew what sulfur was, and he said, "That must be what they breathe," and that's how they figured it all out. Like, so
Yeah. And like when the alien needs like a translator to talk to him, which is also the time travel device.
Mhm.
I forgot. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. So, all right. All right. Yeah. Then what happens?
It says, sorry, my camera's going crazy right now.
No worries.
When the townsmen find the aliens, they try to sell them to a representative of P.T. Barnum. Tom and Sarah see that this is immoral and try to save the alien by getting it back to the ship. It's kind of just random sentences at this point.
They're just saying things, yeah.
Uh, the moral shift appears to be out of character for Sarah since we were first introduced to her after she was caught joyriding in a stolen car with her punk rocker convict boyfriend.
Oh, okay. We're playing around with the timeline in that Wikipedia article.
The summary makes the movie sound awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's one more paragraph which like jumps back all around the movie.
Wow. That's so funny. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh wait, no. It kind of ends it. I don't know if there's I don't know if there's anything more.
All right. Well, I mean, long story short, they do get involved with somebody who manages to headline the whole situation regarding the alien that they find. There's a big dramatic sequence where the sheriff is going to sell the mom to, I guess it is P.T. Barnum type character, and there's this big, long, drawn out, dramatic sequence where the mom appears to die, and of course the kid is super casual about it. He's like, "We didn't make it. We failed. She's dead." You know.
And there is a cowboy character too that we haven't mentioned. There's just
who looks the same exact age as his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
So he's there helping the kids out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The human kids. Yeah, there's an alien mom, if that wasn't clear, yeah.
Yeah, the alien mom. She like appears to die, but then the main kid, whatever his name is, gets the transfer thing, brings it back to her. Like, and
the sister does. The sister rides off, and
that's it. Yeah, the sister, she's the one who does it. She appears to flee, but to him at least, but she's actually the one who retrieves it, and then he's the one who forgets to turn it on. That was the part I was
that was so dumb. Yeah,
that was ridiculous too, because it's like, oh, it's not working. Oh, I forgot to turn it on. That's why.
Oops. Yeah. It's like an oxygen tank thing. Yeah, and he's just like, and the doctor's like, well, if I don't even know if these have hearts and heartbeats, but if they do, she's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, then okay, so then what does the last paragraph say?
It says after the two siblings are successful in their moral crusade, they are transported back into modern day Ghost Town from which they came. Tom and Sarah's sour relationship heals as they drive back to their suburban home.
I mean, yeah, that about summarizes it. The sister kind of gets sort of all hot and heavy with the cowboy a little bit. You know, they kind of sneak into a back room in the corner at one point, and you know, I don't think anything happened, but it was kind of a sketchy moment, you know. And then then they get back. I'm assuming that neither of them really learned anything other than to not argue as much and to work together more often, which I suppose is a good lesson.
There was a mob scene that they were first mad at the alien and wanted to kill it, and then they turned and wanted to save it.
Yeah, for whatever reason, an entire mob of people want to kill this alien because the town is all panicked, which I think is honestly why I found it so funny that the main characters were so deadpan, because the entire town was overacting and freaking out over this alien, but they were just like, this is bull crap.
Yep, and they danced at the end too.
Oh, yep, there's a dance scene. It's very, like what do you call it? Exotic dance.
Yeah.
I'd say the dance scene in this movie was better overall than the dance scene in The Three Ninjas Knuckle Up.
Yeah. And then I also thought it was funny, like the alien mom and the cowboy mom were talking about being moms.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these rascal kids and stuff. It was like, all right.
That was so cute. This movie had a lot of cute, happy moments in it. So
Yeah.
Anyway, it was definitely on the cheap side, but it moved quickly at least. So
Yeah.
Definitely
And
felt like full moon production.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, the most memorable thing about it were the characters, and the bad dubbing. It was kind of distracting at many different points. Actually, I thought so, but I still overall thought it was silly enough and entertaining enough. Like personally, like I enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, it was fine. Another dumb kids movie.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on a scale of 1 to 5, Zach, what would you give it?
I gave it a 2. It was
Okay.
all right. Probably wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah,
Nothing too bad to like make it deserving of a 1, but
yeah, but nothing like exceptional either.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2 as well. It was fine. Kind of silly, but
I think
charming.
yeah, I'm generous enough to give it a 3.
Oh.
I found it overall more entertaining than a lot of these kinds of movies tend to be. Well, and I think it was just because of just how like laid back the whole vibe of it was. The fact that it took place in the Wild West and was about aliens and time travel, and yet somehow it was just kind of very casual and had sort of a warm feel to it. It was, I don't know, just kind of a goofy, weird little odyssey, I guess is what I would describe it as being. So
Yeah.
it's like the type of thing that you just kind of throw on, just like maybe you're like in 6th grade or 8th grade or something like that, and there's just nothing to do, and you're just bored, and you know, maybe just watch a dumb comedy. Like this one is okay, I'd say. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can think of it like Fraggle Rock almost.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh Lord.
all right. So I guess that does it for the Wild West or time. I'm just gonna call it Time Slingers. So
Okay.
do either of you have anything else you want to say about it, or
Not really.
okay? Yeah, I would say out of the 3 movies we watched on this episode, that I'd say Time Slingers is my favorite. So
I think probably me too. Yeah.
yeah, okay, cool. All right, so we'll discuss the next 2 movies here. So Nick, what was your choice?
Oh wait, hold on. There was something I
Oh,
wanted to
oh yeah,
just randomly, just a quick random one for. There was an exposition scene in that where they talked to the cowboy's mom about everything that we are. It was everything we already saw, and it went on for like a couple minutes.
yeah,
And I just thought that was like kind of dumb as hell because it's not like they revealed anything. It was just straight up saying like a previously on this is
Yeah.
what
yeah.
happened for the last
Honestly,
hour of the movie.
yeah. The characters summarize the whole plot like right in the middle of the movie. Wikipedia, whoever wrote that stupid plot summary on Wikipedia should have just watched the movie and just
Yeah,
not
wrote what he
like took
said down.
notes on what the kid was saying or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
my movie, Teenage Space Vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's about space vampires, whatever
Hell
those
yeah,
are.
it is. Well, actually, that was my first question because, like, what I know that they're space vampires, but what made them different otherwise than regular vampires?
That they were from outer space. I don't know.
Okay.
So they turn them into aliens. not vampires,
I guess so. Like,
but they turn them into aliens in the style of a vampire,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, basically.
they had
That seems to be
fangs
the
and
case.
stuff.
Like it didn't seem like they were feeding on blood or anything.
Yeah,
No, yeah, they're just turning them by biting them.
that's about it. Yeah, they didn't. Otherwise, they didn't seem very bloodthirsty. It's just like they wanted to spread their kind.
Yep.
Like pod people.
Yes. Uh, let's see.
And
Where do
speaking of which, there is a full moon movie called Seed People, which is like pod people. So,
Yeah.
so if we ever decide to do another full moon video episode, I think that's the one I'm going to choose next.
All right.
There's still
Yeah.
plenty to choose from Full
Yeah.
Moon.
There sure are.
The plot of this one goes, we're following this kid. I think his name's Bill or something. Billy, I think.
Billy the
Is
Kid.
that is that's this movie, right? Or is that the other one? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's Bill.
Yeah, we're following him. He's a paper boy in a suburban town.
Yeah.
One night, aliens come. Like he sees it out his window or some shit, and then
Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
like how the first thing you see in his room is another Full Moon vampire movie poster.
yeah,
Subspecies.
Oh yeah, yeah. This movie throws in some advertisement. You see the pendulum there too. I like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, very wise of them. But one thing I will say about this movie though is it's kind of the opposite pace than the previous one we just watched, because like the Wild West Time Slingers movie was pretty fast, but this one is super slow. So
yeah. Um, so he's a paper boy. He's going on his route. The next day, and he comes across this familiar looking thing, this object that looks. I don't know where I saw it.
it does look like something I've seen in something else, actually. Yeah. I had that same thought when I saw it.
Oh, it gave me the hardest laugh of the whole night, I think, was seeing that fucking door again.
Yeah.
For anyone that isn't going to watch, it's the same exact door from fucking Time Slingers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The same prop, like same exact prop door thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that is something you always got to appreciate about these movies is like seeing like the same costumes reappear and the same like little things like that reappear. So
yeah, I laughed so hard when that.
yeah, it's economic.
Yeah,
It's economical. This is economical filmmaking that we're learning about here.
you got to pump them out somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
It's
sure
the
it's
same
in.
vagina door. Huh?
Yeah. I was gonna say it's probably in more of their sci-fi movies too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably. That's got to be one of their favorite props. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be one of my favorites. Let's face it.
Or it's just an expensive one, so they're like, keep using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep using it till the latex wears off.
They're at school. He has a nerdy friend he hangs out with. They get picked on, of course.
Yeah.
He goes to class. The history teacher is a weirdo. We find
Yeah.
out why later, but he's given a presentation of the town, which is relevant, I guess, to the history, I guess, to the movie.
It does end up being, yeah.
It was a mine, so where they lived was a mining town, and they found like it was a coal mining town.
Yes.
But one day they found this big ass diamond, and then it collapsed. People say it's haunted and stuff, and then the diamond disappeared during transit one day. And that's kind of where they left off at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a mystery, that they like, which the answer is obvious to us, but it does take the characters quite a while to figure it out.
Yeah. And then throughout, like he's kind of noticing while he's going through town. Like there's one scene where he's like kind of delivering papers, and like everyone's just kind of standing in the streets. So you think, oh, something's going off here. Something strange. Strange is
yeah.
afoot. Uh,
Yeah.
we
And
get a
yeah,
little,
it's true.
yeah, we get a little backstory of the teacher too. Apparently, his plane crashed when he arrived from Romania or something, and he was the only survivor.
Hmm.
Um, so
Yeah,
that makes him a little suspect.
indeed. Yeah. It's kind of like the faculty a little bit.
I was thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like junior faculty. Like if that movie were made for kids, basically.
Wish version of the faculty.
But we go. I mean, it's pretty obvious early on because the teacher kind of like goes to the door and opens it with his eyes that transform all CGI like, and he walks through it the same way the kids in the Wild West movie did.
Yeah.
Same effects. I don't know. Talks to some space vampire in it for something.
Yeah. There were a few things in this movie that I got confused with the other movie when we were talking about it.
Yeah. It's easy.
Yeah.
There's these science people that come. SETI. I think that's a real thing.
Yeah.
SETI. It's like space alien. I don't know. I think it has to do with aliens, is my understanding.
Yeah. That was my guess.
I've definitely heard of it in the real world. So yeah.
Yeah.
There's just a few scientists come check out the door while the kids were there. The main kid throws a gnome, like a garden gnome, through the door, and the scientists were pumped about that.
Yeah. That was the craziest scene in the movie, probably.
Yeah, like one of the scientists just wanted to try and light it on fire, but like
Yeah.
the lady was like, "Why? You could explode this whole town. We don't know what this metal is. Even it could be silver dynamite."
Yeah, for all they know.
But right after that, both those those other two scientists just disappear.
Yeah.
They're attacked. One of them's attacked by an old lady that turns into a vampire, and then the lady scientist, she just disappears.
Yeah.
We're left just with like I think the main scientist guy with the glasses. He hangs out around. They don't seem that smart for scientists, really. None of them do.
Yeah.
Because this guy's taking a lot of help from this high school kid too.
Yeah. And this isn't the last movie we're going to talk about that has dumb scientists in it. So.
Yeah. It all ties together.
Yeah.
Indeed. These movies are like a daisy chain. So.
Oh, but this door thing's floating too. The nerdy guy was pumped about that. It was like a centimeter off the ground. He was like, it floats.
That was funny too. Yeah, he was like getting all like excited about that.
I just loved that prop.
Yeah. How could they not? The effects aren't too bad. I mean, they're definitely cheap, but they weren't too distracting. Like I actually did like that one, the moving statue thing.
Those little gargoyle magic thingers.
Yeah. That looked cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And they didn't use it too liberally either. Like there was just a few little instances of them, so it wasn't that distracting.
I agree. Yeah. This movie managed to do a lot with a little as far as effects go. Like
yeah. Yeah, there's a scene where the bullies, there's like these two twin bullies, Andy and Randy.
It's great names for bullies.
Yeah,
it's up there with like Chuck and Steve.
Yeah. They were bullying the kids again. But like the teacher comes up and does his eye thingy to him, and then stops him. So you get the impression that they're also vampires.
Mm.
I mean, I guess the confirmation, or I mean, I didn't suspect it at all until that happened, and then
Yeah.
yeah, the whole town's turning into vampires. And
Mhm.
the thing too was like shortly after, like they're going to check out, I don't know, maybe the warehouse or something. The main character somehow get into it's that it's vampires, like because he checks his friend's neck and then starts like I don't know where he got this idea that like all this was vampire stuff too.
Here's the answer. So that kid has an overactive imagination, and he has the full moon video posters in his room that are vampire movies. And it's because of full moon video that he immediately thinks, wait a minute, is this a vampire? And in this case, he turns out to be right. So
Shot in the dark, damn, yeah.
yeah. So that was an advertising opportunity for full
Yeah.
moon.
Because there was no indication at all whatsoever that there were any type of vampires, but he like starts checking people's necks and shit.
Yep. It's because he's got an overactive imagination. He's paranoid. He's been watching too much Bloodstone, and yeah, he's paranoid about vampires. So I gave you your answer.
Thanks. It all makes sense now.
You're welcome.
I guess the neighborhood, there's like they go to visit the Seti dude, the last remaining scientist, and
Right.
he's almost attacked by one of the vampires, but like the kids come in and stop it, and then the scientist guy kind of like just brushes it off. He's like, "What? That okay? That was weird, but whatever."
Yeah. Like the scientist ends up kind of not really being too concerned about what's going on. You know, he ends up actually kind of turning into the main character. Like after he gets introduced, he kind of becomes pretty important. Like
yeah. There's a party. There's a party scene, kind of.
You gotta have one of those.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of a party. That's right.
Because they're just dancing around. They burn because there's a big soccer game coming up, and the kids were letting loose at the top of the mine shafts.
Yeah. Party at the mine shaft.
Yeah. And he has the kid has a sister is another thing, and she was there. They had a better relationship, I feel, than the other two.
I agree.
His brother was a bit more protective of her.
Yes.
They weren't giving each other as much shit, but they still were, kind of, And she was protective of him too. She made her boyfriend go and stop the bullies bullying her little brother.
Yeah.
So that was nice, I guess.
It was a good siblinghood or siblingship, whatever the word is.
Yes. So he goes to the party to make sure his sister's okay. But she bounces because she's, I don't know, her friend just had to leave because she was grounded or some shit. So they just leave. So he goes to investigate further because he didn't see his sister there, and he finds the scientist in the mine shaft searching around, and he helps him out because he somehow knows the way around the mine shaft.
Yeah.
And they stumble upon like this cult, the vampire cult.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
That was like something out of Buffy or something.
Right. It's for the next movie actually, but yeah, something reminded me of Buffy in that. I'll let you know when we get to it.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, they just find this vampire cult in the mine shaft, kind of, and then that explains what the diamond was, which I don't really still get. It's some special diamond that captures sunlight and or moonlight.
Yeah, I
it just captures light. Yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
light absorber or something.
I didn't really get what was going on at all. Like the
Well, they didn't
plot.
really. Yeah, they didn't really explain it too much. The scientists kind of summarized it in passing, and it was like, wait, what was that type of deal? Like,
Yeah, I literally wrote. It was like he was explaining it with mugs and shit, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I just wrote down "eclipse mumbo jumbo" in my notes.
yeah,
I was
it
like,
was
what the fuck are you talking about, man?
it was pure gobbledygook.
I
You're
think
absolutely right.
I think their ultimate goal was to like drain the sunlight, but they were already out in the sunlight. So what's the
Yeah,
point?
I don't. It was confusing because I guess only the main dude. Yeah, they wanted to block out the sun for all eternity or some shit, but only the main dude, I guess, was a vampire or something, and was only
Yeah.
affected by sunlight. But all his
Yeah.
minions weren't until he said so. Like, I guess he could make them be affected, become vampire. I don't know. It was real dumb.
Yeah. I mean, by the time you can figure it out, the movie's already over anyway.
Yeah. Um, but they set up, so they leave, come back, set up a trap. You obviously like because they say that yeah, only the main vampire is affected by sunlight, so we have to blast him or something like that. So they set up a bunch of like mirror light shaft shit with the fucking tinfoil and whatnot to go down into the mine shaft.
Set an elaborate trap. Yeah.
And this is taking place too during the soccer game.
Mm-hmm.
And once they set off the trap, the kids, everyone starts just going nuts in the soccer field, biting everyone. Like it's just a bite fest. I don't know, just pure chaos on the soccer field.
Yeah, that was the best part of the movie. What?
Say, except for his friend turned around and tried to bite his parents, but his mom's like, "Sit down."
Oh yeah. His friend got turned. Yeah, and was a shitty vampire. Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the bite fest was probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so like they shine the light on the. I thought they were trying to blast the alien, but no. For some reason they like shine it on the diamonds. I don't know why. I thought they were trying to shoot the alien vampire.
Made more sense, but
because what ultimately happens is there's like a fight-ish kind of. It's just a scramble down there.
Yeah. The scientists, the violent outbursts.
Yeah. And they grab the diamond that's just now glowing and they just smash it.
Yeah, basically.
Which I don't think, because I was under the impressions diamonds were super tough. Are they not? Like they're one of the toughest materials type thing?
So. Yeah,
like you use it to cut shit, like cut steel and whatnot, but not this super rare diamond from outer space. This one's just made it out of glass because he just chucked it on the floor and it blasted open.
Yeah. Yeah, it turned out defeating the space vampires actually wasn't that hard.
Yeah. Just kind of, it was like acted kind of like, I don't know, a grenade, I guess. It just, I mean, the main alien vampire was asking for it, and he said, "Okay, you want it? Here you go," and just chucks it at his feet, and then it just kind of kills him because it blasts him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
sunlight shrapnel.
The vampires don't even try to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they didn't even go back for the scientist, because remember he almost got bit.
Yeah.
And then no one ever comes back to try to finish it off.
No, I guess they had better things to do.
They were heavily outnumbered down in the mine shaft too. It's like
yeah.
And none of them were affected except for the main bad alien by the sunlight shit, so they don't bunch of shitty alien vampires.
Yeah. This movie's trying to tell us that if you follow the rules, you'll get what you want.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
They did use the vagina door a lot in this though.
Yeah.
They used it for like for somehow they like the moon would shine through,
Mhm.
like it would suck in moon
Yeah, the
sunlight
full
and do
moon.
that. Yeah, yeah. And then that's how they got the sun rays too. The sun, like it was shining on the sun, and then that was blasting too. And then they set up mirrors and stuff. So they got a lot of use out of it in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I think it actually worked better in this movie than it did in the previous one, I would say. So
Yeah.
it felt more appropriate here.
This movie also had really shitty audio issues.
Yeah.
There were some scenes where like the music was just like blaring and you couldn't hear like what
Yeah.
they were. And like even I wrote down like there was just one scene where the subtitles didn't even try. It was just whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like whispering in the when they were spying on the vampire cult at the first time, and the side they were like trying to be quiet, but they were doing too good of a job that the movie couldn't fucking pick it up. Like
Yeah.
just couldn't hear it, and the subtitles was just whispers.
Yeah, I was having a lot of issues with this with the audio. I kept on turning it up and then turning it down. It was another one of those movies where it just the sound was just all over the place and the music would just like blare and like just stuff like that. It's like you gotta fix stuff like that before I mean, like I actually, I was mostly entertained by what was going on in it, but it was kind of a bummer that I had to keep like messing with the volume. So
Yeah. And that is Teenage Space Vampires. Unless you guys can think of anything, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward, somewhat episodic. Like, you pretty much, learn things along with the main character. So,
Yeah. I felt like a TV movie. I know it's been like direct to video, but
yeah.
definitely felt like something that could have been on cable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it more than Bolthead, or Big Monster on Campus, or whatever that Ryan Reynolds movie was that we
Oh,
watched.
yeah.
Like, I liked it more than that one. So.
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely cheap. So not exactly like a go-to bad movie. Not really like entertaining enough to be considered like, like one of the greats or anything like that. I mean, I enjoyed what was going on, but it's probably not one I would watch again. So
No.
Yeah.
It's real boring. I'd give it 2 stars just because it had a different take on like I'm a vampire nut, so it had a different take on vampires, and that was I don't know even if it's unique. Maybe someone else did space vampires already, but and it
Yeah.
didn't none of it made real any sense. But still it was a unique take on vampires. So I'll give
Yeah.
it 2 stars.
Okay. And what would you give it, Zach?
Yeah, I give it a 2 as well.
Okay.
Nothing too special. Makeup was kind of cool. I don't think we touched that, but
Oh yeah.
the alien makeups were pretty good.
Yeah, I like the makeup in it. I'd probably give it like a 2 to a 2.5. And I will say though, there is another space vampire movie it's one that I have been kind of thinking about choosing for this show at some point, called Life Force, which is directed by Tobe Hooper. And I can guarantee you that that's a movie that you will give more than 1 star to. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Heard of that one.
I think I've heard of it too. Yeah.
It's a good one. I like it. It's bad, but it's good.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed the space vampires, the teenage space. I mean, it was very patient, but I generally enjoyed it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it did feel like a vampire movie made for kids, though. So,
Yeah.
so, and on that scale, it's no Little Vampire.
No.
Yeah. But here's another question: how does this stack up against what was it called that we watched before? Grampire, or My Grandfather is a Vampire. How would you say it stacks up against that?
I think it's worse.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I liked the grandpa vampire was good.
Yeah,
It's cute.
yeah. I would say between this and that, I would go with the grandpa one probably. So
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. All right. Anything else? Or
No.
all right, time to jump into the zone, the Shadow Zone, which is the movie I chose for my choice. All right, yeah, Shadow Zone, which actually has kind of an interesting cast. James Wong is in it, Academy Award winner Louise Fletcher, and then also, you know, Juana Man, Miguel Nunez.
Yes.
Nunez, he's in it. But it's a horror movie, so we know he probably dies in it. So I mean, I kind of assumed that he did before I even watched it. So
Yeah.
I don't know why he has to die in every horror movie he's in. It's kind of a bummer. Like, I guess maybe he just likes having death scenes. So
I guess.
yeah. Okay, so Shadow Zone. So this is another pretty straightforward, simple type of like movie. I used the word economic earlier. This one I would say the same thing about economic. It all mostly takes place in one location. Actually, basically the whole movie takes place in one location. And it makes the most out of that location. So you can tell that they didn't have much of a budget to work with, but they did a lot with the budget they had. So it's another kind of one of those movies where a bunch of people are trapped underground. It's kind of reminiscent of like other movies like that, or like maybe like movies where people are trapped with monsters, like the Terror from Beyond, and Alien, and stuff like that. The Thing is another
The
one
thing.
that
It reminded me a lot of the thing, yeah.
yeah, yeah. It reminded me of The Thing as well. It was like if The Thing took place, so you know that ending part of The Thing that takes place underground. Um, it's almost like if the entire film took place in the underground, except instead of it being like a snowy underground, it's kind of like a dingy, dusty, foggy, smelly looking underground with leaky pipes
It
and
also reminded me of
yeah,
that Adrenaline movie that we watched.
yes, yes, Adrenaline, Fear the Rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adrenaline spelled wrong. Yeah, I would agree that definitely had similar feel in some ways. I'd say that film was probably more incoherent.
Yeah. But on like the kind of one location kind of thing. And that's
Yeah.
what reminded me of it the most.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Like um yeah, that one it was like kind of like this, but a lot more like open and a lot of like pipes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then yeah, but this one, so basically the plot goes, this guy from NASA, uh it was like Kilroy or some kind of name like that.
Captain
It,
Hickok.
Hickok, yeah, Hickok. Isn't there another movie we watched that had a character named Hickok in it? Or am I wrong?
Probably.
Okay, well I guess it doesn't matter.
I don't know off the
Anyway,
top of my head.
yeah. um
This was a
but he,
Buffy connection too. The actor looked exactly like one of the main characters in Buffy for a couple seasons, one of her boyfriends, and he played
yeah,
like a same kind of dude, like a scientist, not like a scientist, but like a military scientist. And I was like, it can't be the same guy because it was filmed like a decade earlier, unless he like de-aged himself somehow. But it looked exactly like him, and he played the like exact same type of character. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is some crazy twin shit. And I even looked up to see if they were like related or it was like his kid or something. They're not at all, but they looked exactly the same. It was interesting.
that is interesting. I used to get Dylan McDermott confused with Clive Owen. You know, I don't think I'm the only one though. So, but
Yeah.
um, let's see, where was I? Oh yeah. So this NASA scientist, he's going to this underground sector location to kind of basically do an evaluation on this. So, one of their tests, like one of these, like this group of scientists who are apparently developing some kind of technology that is to be used like as part of the space travel program. Um, they basically got a little too carried away with whatever it was they're developing and somehow created some sort of uh, device that can actually infiltrate dreams and thoughts and create like a portal into them where like physical material reality can actually coexist in another dimension. Um, Somehow they've managed to figure out the technology to do that. God knows how, but they did it. And it's kind of interesting too, because when you meet the scientists, you can tell that they all feel very mixed up about what they're doing. James Wong obviously has gone total megalomaniac. Louise Fletcher, you can tell, has gone crazy over time because of having to sort of withhold the secrets. And actually,
And all that chapstick.
And all that chapstick. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that. Oh my god. And Louise Fletcher, she knows how to play scary characters, and her character in this was pretty creepy, I would say. But yeah, like, so he shows up and he's trying to like figure out this whole situation in which one of their test subjects had died from what they call a cerebral hemorrhage. But when they show up there, the autopsy's already done, so like he has to kind of take their word for it. And then he decides to kind of, so basically at that point, once he sort of gathers that, he's like, okay, well, I need some kind of proof, so could you maybe do a demonstration of this dimensional sort of warbling that you're doing? Which, what he doesn't know is that they're dealing with unstable technology, and for whatever reason none of the scientists want to tell him that. And actually there's a few other characters that you kind of meet kind of throughout. There's this cook lady who pretty intense lady. She like they're like being...
I wrote down colorful lunch lady.
Yes, yes, very colorful indeed. She's like they're like having dinner or whatever, and then she brings a dead rat into the room and tells them to seal up the floors. Like that's how like disgusting this place is.
Yeah.
Is that
and she's wearing those curling thingies too, for whatever reason.
Yeah, she was an intense character. But yeah, they have a rat infestation, and it actually does become a problem later in the movie. But let's see. Miguel Nunez, he plays this guy. What's not Shiver? I forget what the character's name is.
There is a guy named Shivers in it. If that's
yeah, and the cook was named Cutter. I don't remember what his name was though, but he's the one who does the keyboarding. You know, he's the one who works with the mainframe.
Yeah, who's in the mainframe.
Yeah. And James Wong tells him to, set up protocol, and he's expressing plenty of skepticism, but in the end, he still presses the numbers. So you get to see the test subjects. It's like these two really good-looking naked people, and the military guy, the main character, the captain. Well, at one point he has like a weird nightmare about Louise Fletcher giving him a heart, like to eat, which is that was gross.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But yeah, so he kind of sort of surveys the whole situation, and the whole time they're biting their fingernails, hoping that nothing bad will happen, and luckily things go okay at first, and so they shut down the power. But then unfortunately the guy's veins start bulbing, and then basically his head and his body starts it explodes. And Nunez on the computer is trying to figure out what the source of it is, and the response he gets is John Doe. So somebody's invaded from the dimension, and it's
Yep.
this really gnarly looking like alien thing that you actually do see the final form of, and it's a sight to behold, let me tell you. It looks so like cheap and yet so disgusting and crazy at the same time. Like definitely one of the weirder creature designs. Like that looked like something out of like a Sam Raimi movie or something. Like I love
Yeah, the
that.
final product of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But until then, it shapeshifts.
And I will, yeah, and it is one of those movies where they talk to the computer, like it's like for programming. They're like, instead of any like writing code or something, they'll ask questions and it answers. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's totally awesome. It's like if the thing meets war games. So,
Yep.
um, so let's see. James Hong goes in to try and sort of, I guess, contain it, but it like morphs into like this carnival freak that he saw when he was a child that I guess traumatized him. That it was in his mind because he was feeling like nervous because I guess the lights were going off and stuff like that. And so it gets him like immediately. He's the first one that gets killed. And also, one thing I forgot to mention is that the bunker has an automatic sealing device because the technology that they're using is so outdated that it's actually from the 60s. And it was meant to react to any kind of nuclear or radioactive response. And so they're trapped. And they're trapped with this interdimensional monster that shapeshifts. So that's pretty horrible. There's like a veterinarian lady, I forget what her name is, but she goes to check on the monkeys because they have monkeys that they were actually testing this stuff on, that now they just keep as pets.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this part's pretty creepy. She goes and gets her monkey, and at first she kind of has this situation with a rat. Like she's like trying to find the monkey in the vent, and then a rat shows up and she trips and falls and hurts herself. But she manages to get the monkey, and she calls the folks who were more or less in charge of the mess hall, the cook and whatever the Shivers, whatever that guy's name is. They're getting ready to just get the fuck out. But
Yeah,
she
they
calls
want
them
out.
up.
Yeah.
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 And I think they even say that at one point. Like, let's get the fuck out of here. But she calls them up and says that she found her monkey. But the guy in the kitchen, he's like, "What are you talking about? The monkey's right here." And so then she
Yeah,
turns
he like
around
says he's stupid. He's stuffing his stupid face with grapes.
yeah. Yeah. And then she turns around, the demon monkey bites her face off. Presumably, we don't see it,
Yeah.
but that's a good jump scare moment. That actually got me, I have to admit. Let's see. The lunch lady gets killed. She gets her arm ripped off. It's like this really gnarly part where like her arm is getting pulled into the wall, and then this big monster busts through the other side.
Yeah, because she was trying to clean out a rat trap in a vent.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it was I think supposed to be a rat monster but they barely showed it. It was like real brief, busting through the wall. It had like a rat shaped head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
what I thought
brief.
it was.
I think it was a rat. Yeah, like a giant rat. But let's see. I mean, most of the movie consists of these characters just getting ripped up by the monster. At one point, because Miguel Nunez has been the one who's managed to bypass the whatever issues they had with the doors and stuff. At one point, he manages to trip the wire to get the elevator working, which the elevator has been sketchy throughout the course of the entire movie. And he does that, but unfortunately, he doesn't get to the door in time, and it locks on him, and then he gets killed. It's like such a cheap way to die.
Mm-hmm. But this was after Shivers died by just shooting the wall a bunch.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
He found the lunch lady and then ran off and just started shooting the walls. And then they run into him, the captain and the hacker dude.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of run into him. His entire body was just on the walls and ceiling.
Yeah.
You just see his like broken glasses and shit on the floor.
Like infinite ammo too.
Yeah. He was blasting that fucking shotgun.
Yeah. He had the infinite ammo cheat, but didn't do him any good. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this movie, the style of it did kind of remind me of like a PlayStation video game, like Dino Crisis or some one of those like survival horror where you're like walking through the hallways and you have the shitty tank controls where you have to press up to move forward, and so you have to pay attention to where your character's facing. It's like, oh man, it's tricky. But anyway, let's see. Eventually, the main character and Louise Fletcher managed to reopen the portal by basically doing the same thing that they did earlier, only with the female test subject. Louise Fletcher kind of pulls herself in, sort of like she goes in and then comes out, and then she gets pulled in. Like she comes out and she's like, "There's thousands of them," meaning there's like thousands of monsters in this other dimension. But that's all you
right,
get.
yeah.
Yeah.
She shoves a pipe in there, and like because there's like a dimensional rift or whatever. She shoves a pipe in there.
Yeah. Yep. And it impales her, the weird looking monster with the big eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they managed to take care of it. The captain is kind of chilling, and then as he's trying to figure out a way to escape, he hears somebody yelling, and he goes into the room, and the naked lady inside of the test tube is wondering what's going on, and he just kind of sits there and says, "Well, it's a long story." And presumably he's more than willing to explain the whole thing to a hot naked chick, but
yeah,
what do I know, right?
Yeah, the whole thing was they had to use the naked lady because it infiltrated the computers and said it just wanted to go home or some shit, and they had to do the test on the lady to open the dimensional door back up.
Yeah, basically. That just about summarizes it. So yeah, I mean, pretty cool little concept. Kind of a fun little, silly, gory little movie. Not particularly scary, but I like the setting. I like the underground smogginess of it. I don't know. It didn't really throw too many surprises at us. The whole concept of the interdimensional like mind thing is weird, but the movie doesn't really delve too much into the complexities of it, so I'm willing to go along with it for the most part. The characters were all pretty scummy, but you get to see them all get killed, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
Yeah. Wish they had shown the creatures longer. Like that rat one looked cool, but it was only for like a split second. So
yeah. Same with the monkey one too. They didn't really show that much of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they could have shown more of the monsters for longer periods of time, and I mean, I'm guessing the reason they didn't show much of it was probably because it was probably pretty cheap, and you know how it goes with cheap costume monster designs. The longer you see it on camera, the cheaper it starts looking.
Yeah.
So they probably wanted to show it quickly enough to not reveal how it probably didn't actually look as good as
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is pretty low budget. So I was entertained. I mean, I'd give it like another 2.5. Like it wasn't that bad. I probably could have used like you said, more creature design. I think more gore, more makeup, more of everything. It would have been pretty awesome. I think it was a little too self-serious. It was my biggest problem. It didn't it wasn't really like it took itself way too seriously, and the concept was silly, so it didn't have any real right to take itself as seriously as it did. So anyway.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2, I guess, as well. I think I gave all of them 2s.
Yeah.
For sure, why not?
2's all around.
Yeah.
Although I gave the aliens in the Wild West a 3, so
Yeah.
I already spoiled it, but oh well, definitely like a 2-star type of movie night overall. So
yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I definitely am glad I watched these. I was entertained by all three of them. Full moon movies, I've come to sort of realize aren't that bad. I think as far like when I compare them to Trauma, like I feel like they both are going for very different vibes. Trauma is kind of going more for the visceralness, and Full Moon is kind of going more for the traditional stuff. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for when it comes to cheap Z grade horror movies.
Yeah. They're not good, but they're entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like in the tradition of like Roger Corman or something. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd watch more of this shit.
Yeah.
But now that we've finished talking about Full Moon, it's time that we reveal our picks for National Lampoon movies. So, who wants to go first?
We'll see what you guys pick first.
All right.
Got a couple things I was thinking about.
Okay. Well, should do you want to go first, Nick, or do you want me to go first?
I can go. I can go first, I guess.
Sure, go for it.
Bag Boy, National Lampoon's Bag Boy.
The title sounds hilarious.
It's literally about a bag boy.
Nice.
It's like I guess that's why I chose because it sounded dumb as fuck. It's about a grocery bag boy competition.
Wow. All right.
All right.
All right, I'll check it out. I'm gonna go with the Vacation remake. So
Okay.
The
I
Ed
didn't think
Helm
it was a
one?
national. Yeah, the one that came out like a few years ago. I think it's by the same John Daly, the guy who did the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. So
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
so kind of a contemporary choice, but apparently it's considered a National Lampoon movie. So because it
Okay.
kept on appearing on lists of them. So
I hadn't seen that one yet.
yeah, neither have I.
I
Don't
think
know what
I
to
have
expect.
seen it actually.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And I'm gonna choose Endless Bummer. It's with Matthew Lillard.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. That'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, now, do we dare spin the wheel of death?
Up. And there's the screen.
What was your choice, Zach?
Endless Bummer.
I don't know anything about that.
No.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of it either. Like Matthew Lillard in a National Lampoon movie? Sure.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Probably a lot.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. All right. See the wheel.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's give it a little shuffle. And see what we get.
All right. Here we go.
Sequels.
Sequels. Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right. All right. It can be any sequel we want.
Yeah.
Absolutely any.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
All right. Man, now I got to start thinking. What is a sequel that I've always wanted to see? I guess we'll find out on the next episode. Or not the next episode, but the episode after the next one.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to reveal our picks too fast.
Yeah. The next episode is the Warrior or whatever.
Yeah. The Warriors of Virtue.
Okay. Virtue Warriors, I was gonna say.
The Virtuous Warriors. All right. Well, do either of you have any final thoughts on the full moon movies that we've watched tonight?
But now, hopefully, I'm sure we'll be watching a lot more. But
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm sure we will, and I'm sure we'll enjoy them. So
there's a lot of sequels for Full Moon.
that's good.
True.
Oh, excellent. It's
That
good
is
to
true.
know. All right. All right. Well, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, have a good one.
See ya.